viewers, and welcome to the program Revision Ensemble. As we all know, in few days our candidates are going to start the various examinations. For that purpose, we are here this afternoon to refresh the minds on what they are supposed to know before sitting for the examinations. Once again, welcome to this program. I am your host and my name is Alabwe Adedo. So today we are going to focus our revision on how to succeed in writing composition in our different examinations is what we are going to talk about during this program. So welcome. We have the topic on the board: how to succeed in composition in senior high school examinations. Composition is just what we call writing. And when we are talking about composition, we have two aspects of composition. We have what we call letter writing, and essay writing. We have letter writing and essay writing. So these are the two things we need to put into consideration as far as composition is concerned. Now, when we are talking about letter writing and essay writing, what does it mean? In essay writing, for instance, let's start from the letter writing. The letter writing has to do with what we have different aspects of letter writing in it. So we have the informal letter, we have semi-formal letter, and the last not the least is formal letter. So these are the three types of letters we have in letter writing. Now, for today, we are not going to talk about all the three. We are just going to focus ourselves on the last one, because this program is meant for candidates who are going to sit for the different, probatoire and back of the examination. So let's focus ourselves on formal letter. Now, what do we mean by a formal letter? A formal letter is any letter written to a personality. For instance, when you are writing to the president, when you are writing to a director, when you are writing to a minister, you are writing what we call a formal letter. So a formal letter is not written anyhow. There are some procedures, there are some steps you must go through if you want to succeed in writing it. So it's what we are going to learn first here through this topic. So formal letter. When we say formal letter, the formal letter is, as I said earlier on, is different from any other letter. When you are asked to write a formal letter, there are elements to consider. The first one is the address. The address of the writer. The address of the writer is the address of the person who is writing the letter. And it is written at the right side of the paper, of your examination paper. So for instance, when you are asked to write a letter, you have to write the P.O. box first. P, capital P, O, capital O, B, capital B, then box. And let's just take any number. Let's take 777. It's just an example. I'm just using it to explain how we write a formal letter. Now, after the P.O. box, before we continue, let's pay attention to this. P is in capital letter and letter majuscule. O is also in capital letter, and B must be in capital letters. Then you write what? The place of you are writing from. For instance, if you are in Lomé, you write Lomé, then Togo. So some people may, when after Lomé you want to place a comma, then you can write it like this. This one is also acceptable. Lomé, Togo. You can also write it like this. Now we have two types of two ways of writing an address. You can write it like this. You see, all the first letters are line up. They line up. Or you can also write it, we call it a block address or slanted one. Another one is also like this. This is the first line, this is the second line. So you can also write it like this. Anytime you finish your first element, you shift. So you can write Lomé here, and then you can write Togo here. This one is the second way of writing the address. So it should be like this. Okay? Now the correct one, or the one I used to write, and I recommend you to write it, is this. Just write it like this. Lomé, Togo. Sorry. Lomé, Togo. And full stop. What must be kept in mind here is the last word of your address should carry a full stop. So this full stop is very, very, very essential. But you can either punctuate your address if you want. It means if you place comma here, you must also place a comma here and then full stop, or you may not place any comma. But the full stop is very important. I hope you are following. Now let's move on. When you finish, all this is what we call the address. When you finish writing your address, you move on with what? The date. The date is also written just below the address, but the date is not the address. So today's date is Saturday, the 14th of May 2022. As we are writing a formal letter, you must write it in full, no abbreviation. You must not shorten your date. So you must write what? Dates. You write, maybe you can write Saturday 14th of May 2022. You place again full stop. Full stop because it is not part of the address. The date is not part of your address. Or you can also write it like this. You can also say May 14th of what? And you place a comma and you write 2022. Or you can also write it 14th of May, comma 2022. What is very important to keep in mind here is that the May, which is the day, the name of a month, should be written with a capital letter. The first letter should be in capital letters. In English, when you are writing the day and the month of the year, the first letter should be in capital letter. That's why M here is in capital letter. The same with the remaining ones. So let's just keep this if you want, or let's write it like this. The first element is today is 14th. You can write it like this, of May 2022. Full stop. Now another important things that we must keep in mind is this. When you are writing your 14th, make sure that your TH is on the same line. It is on the same line as the number. Don't write it like this. This one is wrong. It is wrong when you write it like this. Formally is what we were taught. Is what we were taught when we were schooling. We were taught to be writing it like this, but this one is wrong. Please, when you write it like this, it's like you are writing what? 14th exponent TH, which is totally wrong. The same with what any other date. This one is the correct one. When you write it like this, it is wrong. Please, dear candidate, please kindly put that in mind. It's very important. English is dynamic. Any language is dynamic, so we are not going to be doing the same thing as usual. We need to move on accordingly. That's why you must keep this in mind. That is the correct way of writing it. Now, when you finish writing your address followed by your date, please don't leave any line. No line should be left out. No. If you are going to use 3 lines, first line, second line, third line, the fourth line you write your date on it. Don't leave any line. No. So when we finish with the address followed by the date, we move to what? The salutation. The salutation in any letter is very, very important. So how to write the salutation? Then you move to your left side, to your left right side of your you move to the left side of your paper. You don't leave any line, so you write the salutation. Salutation starts with dear, followed by sir. You say dear sir when you are writing to a male personality. When you are writing to a female personality, you write dear madam. Dear madam. Now, in case you don't know the person you are writing to, whether it is a male person or a female person, just write dear sir or madam. So the two are correct, and you place a comma. This comma is mostly important as far as how do you call it, salutation is concerned. It's very important. Why? Just because it shows that you are going to continue with something. So this comma is very, very important. Now, so when you finish this, you now come to what? You now come to the heading. The heading in a letter is very important. The heading in a formal letter is very important. It tells the reader or the receiver about what he is supposed to know, or the content of your letter. It is mentioned in the heading. So your heading must be in block capitals, or it must be capitalized. What does it mean? All your first letter should be, for instance, when you are writing an application letter, you can say application letter, as when you are writing as a messenger, you say application letter as a messenger. So you underline, neatly underline. You have to underline with what? With a ruler. Don't use your hand to underline. Use a ruler to underline it. So this is application for, we can say application for job. Application for job as a messenger. Or instead of writing it like this, you can also write just the capital letters. You can capitalize it. Application for job as a messenger. So all the first letter must be in capital letters, and you underline it. So after that, then you have to start your letter by saying what? Then you can say I. This is the body of your letter. I humbly wish. I humbly wish to. I humbly wish to. And then you start writing, talking about the subject matter of the topic. what you are asked to do, you start talking about it in your body. Now, when you in your body, you have to be explicit. I mean, you have to mention the main things you are supposed, the reader is supposed to know about. You have to write it in your how do you call it, in your letter. So when you are doing so, you are writing, let's say you are writing a good formal letter. That one is very, very important to know. So when you continue writing, you talk about the subject matter. It means what you are asked to do in the topic. You explain it in your body. When you finish your body, make sure that most of the time we finish our body with this expression. You can say when you are writing, another thing to master is when you are writing a formal letter, don't use shortened words, don't abbreviate. No. So I'm looking forward to having a good reply from you. I'm not saying that this is the only way to end up your letter, your body. No, that is just an example. You can say I'm looking forward to seeing, to hearing from you, and so on and so forth. There are other ways of doing it. We have different type of topics. It depends on the topics. So when you finish this, what do we do next? Then you have to subscribe your letter, subscription. Then you write what? The subscription, as far as formal letter is concerned, is always yours faithfully. Yours faithfully is always at the end. You place a comma. Yours faithfully. Faith is faithfully. TH fully. So you must end up your letter faithfully. Faithfully. That is the way you have to finish your letter. So be sure that the first Y should be in capital letter. That one is very important, and the remaining one should be in how do you call it, in small letters. The first letter should be in capital. So yours should be in capital, and the following one should be in small letters. I hope you are following me, and let's quickly move on because we have other topics, other exercises to go through. So after this, you haven't finished writing your letter like this. You have to write what? Signature. You write signature for what? For examination sake, you don't need to write to sign with your signature. No, for examination sake. So you have to write signature. Just write it, signature. Then you follow it with your full name. Full name. If your name is Amakwacha, then you write Amakwacha. If your name is I don't know, Alaboy Adudu, you write Alaboy Adudu. You have to write your full name. Don't just write Adudu or just write Alaboy. No, it's a mistake. As far as formal letter is concerned, we need to write the full name. Full name. That is all your names, from the first name to the last name. You have to write all. So that's it. Then by doing so, you place a comma, then you finish your letter. But sometimes other people may write, after this you open your bracket and you write your status. If you are a student or you are the senior, you write senior, and so on and so forth. So but the most important ones to do, the most important things to write is what we have on the boards. I hope it is very clear for everyone. If it is so, let me quickly summarize or sum up what we have said about formal letters so that we move to another thing. When you are asked to write a formal letter, the first thing to do is to start from the address. Okay, I made a mistake. Sorry. When you finish this, we are writing a formal letter. Sorry. You need to write what? The recipient address. This one is very important. It escaped my mind. Sorry for that. The recipient address. The recipient address is the address of the person to whom you are writing. So when you are writing to Minister of Education, for instance, you have to write the minister. The minister. Then you write what? You go online, you write where it's works. When the minister works. The minister is working at the Ministry of Education. So you write the ministry, or you can also write it like this. Instead of capitalizing it, you can write the ministry, just like this. Minister, sorry. Then the Ministry of Education. Then the PO Box. PO Box. Then you write, let's just say something, 0505 and Lomé, Togo. I'm sorry, it escaped my mind. So after this, you write what? You write your heading. Application for job as a messenger. Let's just alright, I have already explained that. Application for job as a messenger. So, and then you start with I humbly, as I said earlier on, and you write your I humbly wish to, and you start writing your body. So I'm sorry for that, it's escaped my mind. All right, let me quickly sum up what I said. When you are writing a formal letter, you need to write two addresses, one for the receiver and one for the recipient. The receiver is one for the writer, sorry, and one for the receiver. The writer is the person who writes the address. In your topic, it will his name and his or her name and address will be mentioned. Followed by what? Followed by the receiver's address. So when you want to write it, you start writing from the address of the writer at the top side of your paper. At the right top side of your paper, you write the address, which is composed with PO Box, the place the person is working, and is writing the letter from. After that, you write the date. Your date should be well written, no shortened words. It should be well written. And make sure that your month of the year should be in capital letter. If you want to write the date, your day should also be in a capital letter. Followed by what? The number and the letter should be on the same line. I have already explained all that. Now you move to your left side, the left side of the paper, then you write the recipient address. Make sure that on the first line you talk about whom. You talk about the person whom you are writing to. If it is, for instance, the minister, you write the minister. If it is, for instance, the director of an institution, you write the director. Followed by what? If it is a minister, you write the ministry the person is ruling. If it is Ministry of Education, then you write the Ministry of Education. Followed by what? The address, PO Box, and so on and so forth. So make sure that you punctuate it. Here, comma, here also, comma, and full stop. If you punctuate this one, you must also punctuate this one. That one is also important. If you punctuate this one. If not, leave it like that. No problem. So the addresses can be punctuated or not. I hope it is clear. So let's move on. After writing the two addresses, you must write dear sir or madam. I have already explained this. If you are writing to whom, if you are writing to you know the person you are writing to, sex. If it is a male person, you write dear sir. If it is a female, you write dear madam. But if you don't know, you are not sure of the sex of the person, then you write dear sir or madam. So that's it. Followed by what? The heading. The heading should be in block capitals or well under A. It should be in block capitals or capitalized. When we say block capital, it means every letter should be in capital. It should be in capital. When we say capitalized, it means the first letter of every word should be in capital letter. So you neatly underline it. Then after that, you start your body. You can start it with I humbly wish to continue. Now you can finish it with I'm looking forward to hearing from you or having a good reply from you, and it depends on the topic you are giving. Now make sure that you don't use any slang, you don't use any shortened words when writing to a personality. Every word should be well written and fully written. Don't use shortened words. Don't abbreviate. Don't say I am, say I am. Don't say I say I will. Don't say I've. So no, write I have, and so on and so forth is what I want to mean by that. Then you subscribe your letter with yours faithfully, comma. That is the only subscription as far as formal letter is concerned. Then you write signature for examination sake. For examination sake, write signature. But when you are writing in your real life, then you sign, followed by what? Full name. You write your full name. If your name is Alaboy Adedo, write Alaboy Adedo. Don't write Alaboy and leave out Adedo. Don't write Adedo and leave out Alaboy. You write all in full. So let me come back on it again. I'm not asking you to sign. Don't sign. Just write signature, because you are going to sit for an examination. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the first exercise we have just learned. We are going to move to another aspect of composition. This is we have just picked what? Formal letter writing. We also have, as I said earlier on, we have informal letter and semi-formal letter. Thank you. Let's quickly move to another one. All right. Now the second thing we have to talk about is speech writing. Speech writing. We are going to learn how to write speech, because it is one of the exercise, the topic or the composition element we are asked in exams, in probatoire and bac 2. So it is very important that we master it before sitting for that examination. Some people we also call speech talk. We say talk. Let me write it. Talk. Talk is we use talk when you are writing an informal and non-official speech. When you are writing to you are addressing your classmate, your friend, is what we call talk. But when you are talking, you are writing an official speech, you cannot say talk. Then you are addressing high personalities. Good. What do we mean by speech? what we must keep in mind here is we have two words. We have two types of speech. We have what we call formal speech, and informal speech. Formal speech and informal speech. Informal speech is also called talk. When you are writing to friend, classmate, and so on and so forth, is talk. But as far as formal speech is concerned, it is a speech which made at an official gathering. It is a speech which is made on an official gathering. For instance, when we have a staff meeting, among teachers, a meeting amongst teachers. When you have PTA meeting, PTA means what? Parent and Teachers Association. Association des parents d'élèves is what we call PTA. A PTA meeting. When we have, we also have a gathering like speech day. So we need to write a formal speech. Now, the formal speech must have what? A formal speech must contain a title. It must contain a title. After the title, we must have an opening salutation. And after the opening salutation, we have the body, and then you end your letter, your speech. So these are the things we must know, we must talk about, we must put into consideration when writing a formal speech. Now, what do we mean by title? Your title must be in block capitals and well underlined. Your topic must be in block capitals and well underlined. And it must indicate what? It must indicate, we are dealing with the first things, all right. It must indicate the speaker's name. It must indicate the speaker's name, the occasion of the occasion must take into consideration. It must indicate the speaker's name, the occasion on which the speech is being made, and as well as the date and the place. So is what we must take into consideration when writing your speech. So what do we mean by that? For instance, when you are asked, you are writing your speech. Let me just give you an example of what? Title. You can say a speech delivered by Mr. Amakwacha, during the Yam. Is just an example. In Yam, during the Yam festival, festival on, or the place first, you must mention as well as the place. The place is at just let's take an example at Bazaar, at Bazaar, and the date on 14th of what, which May 2000, and everything should be in capital, so May 2022, and you neatly underline it. So that is your title. When you are asked to write a speech. This is how you must write it. A speech delivered by Mr. Amakwacha. Amakwacha is the name of the person who is writing the speech. On which occasion is that speech being made? So during the Yam Festival is just an example, where at Bazaar. Bazaar is the place, and the date. So when you want to write the title, as I said earlier on, you write the name of the speaker followed by the occasion. That one you can leave it out. Occasion, the place, then the what, date. So these are the 4 things you must write. You must write in your title, or you can leave this out. You can say a speech delivered by Mr. Amakwacha at Bazaar on 14th of May 2022. That is what? That is your title. Now let's move to the opening salutation. Opening salutation. The opening salutation. Opening salutation. This is what? Salutation. This is the point 2 we must consider when writing a speech. Here, an opening salutation begins with the address of people present at that ceremony. The address of people present at that ceremony. It must start from the most important personality to the least important one. It must start from the most important one and end with the least important one. For instance, when you are writing your opening address, your first address should be, you must say it starts with Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. And the last one must be what? The last one must be, and ladies and gentlemen. The last one must be ladies and gentlemen. Comma. I will explain why you should place a comma there. So when you want to start your opening address, you say, you after writing what? The heading. You write Mr. Chairman, comma. You can write the Honorable Minister of the Honorable Minister of Education, comma. You can write invited guest. Invited guest. When it is you are addressing, it is educational speech, for instance, or the audience is the educational audience, you can add members of staff, and so on and so forth. But the most important one is Mr. Chairman, and you finish with ladies and gentlemen. So you start your address from with Mr. Chairman, and you end it with what? Ladies and gentlemen. That one is very important. And you must in between write any other personality you want. Like the first one should be Mr. Chairman, and the second or the last one must be ladies and gentlemen. So this is how you address your personalities. Now, what you must also know is when you are writing it, when you finish this, then you move to what? You move to the body of your letter, your speech, sorry, the body of the speech, body. Well, as far as the body is concerned, you must, this all the time, from time to time, not all the time, no, from time to time, you must be addressing, first of all, your body should be in, you must write your body in paragraphs. So there must be different paragraphs. And from time to time, not all the time, you must be addressing the chairman. Say, Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, comma, and you continue your development. Not all the time, but from time to time. For instance, when you write first paragraph, you can say, Mr. Chair, you talk about your subject matter. The second one, second paragraph, don't address him again. The third one, you can come now and say, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chair. The fourth one, don't say anything. The fifth one, you come, you write Mr. Chairman, and so on and so forth. But what you must keep in mind as far as the body is concerned, the body has to do with what you are asked to talk about in your topic, is what we call the subject matter. You talk about it. Then make sure that the last, before you finish your body, you must address accordingly. I mean, the personality as the way you did it at the beginning. When you want to finish your body, you must write what? Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Minister, members of Parliament. Is it just an example? Don't use it like that. So it depends on the topic you are given. Then you address them the way you did it at the beginning of your body. Then you first say, Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Minister of Education, the staff member, parents, and ladies and gentlemen. At the end of your speech, of the body of your speech, you must address all the personalities once again. But in between, I mean the body, you can use Mr. Chair, but not all the time, from time to time. Then when you finish your body, you don't need, the simple way to conclude, you say thank you. You say thank you. When you finish your speech, say thank you, and that's all. No need to write anything. You finish your how do you call it, your speech like that. You don't need to write name, you don't need to write anything. That is the way you write a speech. Let me quickly check the time. If you have some minutes ahead, we can easily move to what? We can easily move to article writing. Article writing. Good. How to write an article? When you are asked to write an article, we can move to article writing. Another exercise you are given in exam is article writing. How to write article. Article writing. An article, candidates are required to write article for publication in school magazine or in international or national newspapers. So when you are asked to write an article, how to proceed is very simple. Your article, as well as speech writing is concerned, should have what? As well as speech writing, should have a title. After the title, then you need to you need to write the body and the ending. Good. So these are the three things we must put into consideration when we are writing an article. Okay. Now, how do we proceed as far as the title is concerned? The writing of the title is either in block capital. In block capitals, it means every letter should be in capital letters, or it's either in block capitals, or it should be capitalized. It means only the first letters should be in capital letters. Now, your topic must contain what? The subject matter. It means what you are asked to write about in your letter. You must mention it in your article. You must mention it. For instance, when you are asked to write about terrorism in our country, you can say the title should be menace of what? Terrorism in Togo. Then you underline it, neatly underline. That is your heading. That is your heading. Now, when you are asked to write the body. Your body is very simple. You write your body as the way you are writing other topics. For instance, when the topic has to do with descriptive essay, you write in that way, a descriptive essay. When it deals with narrative essay, you write like that. When it deals with argumentative or expository essay, you write your body like that. It's just the simplest way to write your article. The body of your article is related to the way we have been writing our descriptive, narrative, expository, and argumentative essay. Now, that is the body. Now, how to end our article writing? How to end our article writing? The article writing ending depends on the writing you are, the article writing you are asked to write. For instance, when you are writing for school magazine, here what to do when you are asked to write to school magazine here, the simplest way to write is you don't need to write your full name. You can write, if your name is Amakwacha or Alaboy Adudu, you just write Adudu. Sorry, you write Adudu, and followed by your class. You can write Premier A. If you are given Premier A, or you can write SHS 1 or SHS 2. Sorry, SHS 2. So when you are writing, it is for your school magazine. You don't need to write your full name. What you do, you just write your name, your first name, and your class. Now, as far as national or international newspapers are concerned, when you are writing to international, you are writing for an article for publication in a national newspaper. You need to write your full name. You write your full name. That one is very important. You write your full name and your address. If it is PO Box 9999, you write it like this, Lomé. If you are living in Lomé. So that is the way you must end up your article. To end your article, if it is you are writing for an article for publication in a school magazine, then you just write your first name and followed by your class. But if you are writing to a newspaper, then you have to write your full name and your address. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finished with the three aspects of letter writing. I mean, of composition. We have dealt with formal letter and speech writing and article writing. If you have any question, you don't hesitate to contact us. Then you have any information you want. So let's say we are at the end of this program. I don't know if you have any question. If you have any question, any inquiries, anything to add, or any criticism, a positive criticism, even negative one, you are welcome. You can contact us for your and we are sure that we are going to reply you as I mean in the right way. We are not going to deceive you. So ladies and gentlemen, dear candidates, I wish you all the best. May the Almighty God be with you during from the beginning, during and at the end of the exam, and let his hand on upon you so that you write with you write peacefully in good health, and so that nothing wrong will happen to you, and at the end during the result you succeed with flying colors. Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, once again thank you for watching us. This is the program Revision Ensemble. So we wish all of you the best, and let success follow us throughout our examination. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.
Oh,